We are learning Mishna Yismaid Katan, Parakala, Chapter 1. We'll do today Mishnah's Ches and Tes, Mishnah's 8 and 9. Okay. Hahedjai Taifer Kedarkai. An unskilled worker, meaning not a professional tailor, but someone who is an unskilled worker, he can sew in his regular manner. So that means like this. When it comes to Chol Hamoed, we know that we're allowed to do things for the purposes of the Yontif, right? If you need it for Chol Hamoed, for Yontif, that is one of the possibilities of being able to do malacha, to do what could have been forbidden, what would be forbidden to do on Shabbos and Yontif, do on Chol Hamoed. If you need to do it for a Yontif need, then it's okay to do that kind of malacha, that kind of activity. However, the manner in which it has to be done as a Maisa Hedjet. That means it has to be done in an amateur fashion. It cannot be done as a Maisa Uman, a professional manner. It has to be done in an amateur manner. And an amateur manner means that it's either done by an unskilled person in an unskilled manner, meaning it doesn't take any major professional skill to be able to do it, or if it's done in an unusual manner, right? Even the craftsman, even the person who typically does things professionally, if he would do it in an unusual manner, that also now transforms what he has done into being considered, or it makes what he's being done into, it makes what he's done to be considered done in an amateur way, and that would be permissible to do. So the Mishnah begins, Hahedjai, a regular person, not a professional tailor, he can sew regularly. Now, what does it mean? How do you know you're an unskilled person when it comes to sewing or to tailoring? And the way it's explained, Bartanur explains, unskilled in this context refers to someone who cannot make an even seam on the hem of a garment. Okay? You can't make it an even. It's wider one place, smaller another place. You qualify as a hedjit. You are a simpleton. You are unskilled. Okay? And you can just go ahead and do what you got to do regularly. There's nothing more you have to do. The ha'uman, but that person is a craftsman, the person is a tailor, machliv. Machliv means he has to make his stitches uneven, like kind of up and down. And the word machliv comes from the word kelev, dog's teeth, right, are uneven. So the point is that instead of doing it in a straight, instead of making the stitch in a straight manner, he's got to make the stitch like he has to make it uneven. And by doing that, he has now done it in a regular fashion, and then he can do it. So again, you're doing the sewing because you need that hem. You need that hem for Yontif. You need it for Yontif, and that's why you're allowed to do it. If you wouldn't need it for Yontif, you couldn't be doing it on Chol Hamoed. You need it for Yontif, you can do it. Still, you have to do it as a Maisa Hedjet. You have to do it in an unskilled fashion, which means if you're typically unskilled, just do your regular thing. If you are skilled, then you have to do it in a regular fashion. In the case of sewing, they say uneven stitches. Umesargen es hamitais, which means we may interlace the cords of a bed. Now, in the times of the Mishnah, bedding was supported by interlaced cords, not springs, interlaced cords. The act of interlacing the cords is similar to weaving, except that a space is left between the cords, whereas the threads in woven material are close together. So that's what mesargen means. So you're interlacing the ropes in order to be able to support the bedding. So we say that. So the Mishnah says, "Mesargen es hamitais." You can do that. You can make that interlacing support for the bedding on Chol Hamoed. It's considered unskilled work. It's not like your regular weaving. It's unskilled enough to be able to say that you can do it on Yontif. Rabbi Yosi says, "Mematchen." Rabbi Yosi says we can tighten them. If the cords become loose, we can tighten them, but you may not interlace them to begin with. You can't do the interlacing on Chol Hamoed itself. According to Rabbi Yosi, it is considered, I guess, either according to him, it is considered skilled. And therefore, the only thing you could do is tighten them, but not actually do the interlacing itself. Okay. And the Bartanura says, "Ein halacha k'Rabbi Yosi, halacha is not like Rabbi Yosi," and therefore, if you like to, interlace your bed support in case your springs, fail, you can go ahead and do that on Chol Hamoed. Mishna Tes. Next, Ma'amiden tanur v'chirayim b'moyed. We may set up an oven or a stove or a pair of millstones on Chol Hamoed. A person may build and set in place any of these items, provided that it is needed to prepare food for Yontif. Since this food-related work is necessary for the festival, it is permitted even though it is skilled labor and requires great effort. So here we have a new concept that when we're talking about something that you need for food on Yontif, you can even do something that is skilled and even something that takes effort. So Tanur v'chirayim, they translate as an oven or a stove. What's the difference between the two of them? So they explain like this, here in the notes, from the Bartanura. Both the Tanur and Kirayim were types of portable ovens. That's what it means, we set them up. It's not like you're building into the ground, something like that. You set it up. A Tanur had sloping sides that tapered from a wide base to a narrow top, with room on top for only one pot. It went like this, tapered up. A Kirayim had straight sides and could hold more than one pot. That's what we call like an oven, right? Squarish, and it has two openings on top where you can put the pots to be able to cook. So that's just the difference between a Kirayim and a Rechayim. But Tanur and Kirayim, both of them you can set up on Chol Hamoed. You could also set up a Rechayim, which they explain as millstones. A mill consists of two stone discs, a lower one that does not move, and an upper one that rotates over the lower one, grinding the kernels of grain that are placed between them. That's a millstone, right? Mm-hmm. Even though that takes skill to set up, takes effort, a lot of effort to set it up, Tanakama says you're allowed to do it. Now, Yehuda Omer, ein machapshenes rechayim betchila. You may not roughen the surface of new millstones so that they can grind properly on Chol Hamoed. Now, what that means is that if the millstones are smooth, they will not grind the kernels properly. Therefore, the lower millstone must be roughened by cutting grooves into it that catch and grind the kernels. Okay? That's what you have to do. That kind of roughening that he's talking about, this kind of roughing, to roughen the surface of a new millstone, that means you got a brand new millstone. You want to make that lower millstone, you want to rough its surface to be able to grind properly. According to Rabbi Yossi, you cannot do that. The way I understand that is that, let me read it here from where they explain it. Unlike the sages who permit the full construction of a new millstone, which includes roughening the surface, they say you could set it up. Setting it up anew. That means you have to roughen the bottom one, you do it. Rabbi Yehuda forbids roughening a new millstone because that is skilled and strenuous labor, which I understand to mean that it's more than just great effort, right? It's more than skilled, it's more than great effort, it's even more than great, it's strenuous effort. Mm-hmm. And that he says you cannot do on Chol Hamoed. Now they bring that here on the bottom. However, even Rabbi Yehuda permits roughening the surface of an old millstone. The wording of Rabbi Yehuda is you cannot roughen the millstone initially. That means it's brand new, and now you're initially putting in the grooves. That you can't do. However, if it's an old millstone, since it had been roughened previously, it is not considered skilled or laborious work. That's such a big deal to sharpen it. And therefore, Rabbi Yehuda would say that you can do, but to be able to initially do it on a new one, that you may not do. And again, the halacha is, I believe, the halacha is not like Rabbi Yehuda, like the first opinion that says that we can set up everything. You can set up a brand new millstone, do everything that you need to do on Chol Hamoed. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Rabbi.
We will not have there's no class tomorrow. So just want to wish everyone a ksiva chesima tova, a very happy and healthy new year with only good health and simchas.
Many expressions.